In early April 2009, at the Martha Baldwin School in Alhambra, California, Mary Bennett's 7th grade English classes were taped talking with writers Samuel Warren Joseph and Phil Proctor about their new fantasy book for young readers, Tyler and Tess in the Magic Maze. The book tells the amazing adventure of 11-year-old twins Tyler and Tess, who are transported into a fantasy world where they learn to work together in order to get back home.
This is my friend Steven, this is my friend Franco, that's Arlene, that's Wendy, that's Jordan, that's Emily, that's
Well, my name is Sam Joseph, and this is my partner Phil Proctor, and I'm very happy and excited that Miss Bennett has agreed to, yes, a nice round of applause for Miss Bennett, has agreed to like the book enough that she wanted to teach it to you in class, and we're very excited about being here today to get your reactions to the book. So,
just by way of background, Sam and I met when I acted in a play that he wrote.
He has a long background in voices, and his most famous character is
Howard in the Rugrats, the father of Phil and Lil. I suppose when you were younger, you probably watched the show 100 billion gazillion times. And I'll be happy to sign postcards like this if any of you guys want to take them home.
Tyler and Tess in the Magic Maze is an action-packed adventure in a wondrous world of bizarre creatures and puzzling challenges. Here's a sample of some of the magical characters, and you can see more at our website, www.magicmaze.com. The students spent over a month reading the book out loud and discussing it in depth. And here's what some of them had to say when asked what they thought of the book.
By a show of hands, how many of you liked the book? Okay? Raise your hands high if you liked it, okay?
Everybody liked it.
What did you guys like best about the book, huh?
Yeah, I like this book because it's like, I don't know, the theme and the setting of this book is like really cool. It's like, it makes you feel like you're in there. And like, and it makes you want to read more when you keep reading.
It challenges your mind.
I like the book because it was adventurous and the characters was realistic and could relate to other people.
Good.
I like the riddles Tyler and Tess had to solve.
Okay.
It makes you feel like you're there.
I like the originality. I like the adventure and also how you make everything look so visual. Zebra Town was very interesting. Like I like all the sites all the places that you made. The Temple of Artemis, Zebra Town, Gardens, what else? The Fraction Forest.
A magic mirror because everyone can get deformed.
Okay, so you liked how when they walked in front of the mirror. Tell the cameraman what happens when they walk in front of the camera, in front of the mirror.
They see themselves in a different shape, like fat and short.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you a question. What was the most gross, disgusting part of the book?
When Panther Tin had to rub the queen's feet.
Oh yeah,
That's
okay, good.
Pretty hicky.
How about over there?
When Queen Zebra threw up all that food that she ate.
Oh.
When Myron was eating all those bugs.
Myron eating all this disgusting stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Delicious stuff.
Okay. How about Pantherton when he was rubbing Queen Zebra's feet? Yeah. What is your favorite part of the book?
The Zebra Town.
Zebra Town. Why did you like Zebra Town?
Because they had to get out in a hard way.
Did you like how they got out of that place?
They did the Heimlich maneuver to Queen Zebra.
And they then did what?
They saved her.
They saved her. But Queen Zebra was who?
The main woman.
The enemy.
Yeah.
Right? The woman who was trying to
Villain.
enslave them, right? And so, what was the trick in Zebra Town?
That you have to do something selfish.
Selfish or selfless? Is that a new word you learned too? Selfless. Okay. What other books does Tyler and Tess in the Magic Maze remind you of? And can you think of any off the top of your head? How about you?
It reminds me of Alice in Wonderland, and I really like that book, and a lot of people did too. So I don't see why they wouldn't like this one.
The book Bridge to Tapithia.
Bridge to Tapithia.
I liked how they had to work together to solve everything during the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
Now they had to make a rhyme.
A rhyme.
Yeah.
So you liked the rap rhyme, the homonym rhyme?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Did you guys learn a lot about homonyms and different kinds of words? What new words did you guys learn in this book?
Pun.
What?
Pun.
Pun?
Pun?
P-U-N.
Pun?
Pun.
Okay. Pun. Okay. And anybody else?
Aromatic.
Aromatic? Aromatic. Okay. What's another word you learned in the book?
Dog-eared.
Dog-eared.
Yeah,
Okay.
like some of your books.
What surprised you guys the most about Tyler and Tessa's relationship? Did it relate to you in any way? How did you feel about it?
He's more like, the funny guy and stuff. And like, I like to be around my friends, and I relate to both of them, to me and my brother, because, we both have our ups and downs. And I guess if I was in an adventure like that, I think we would like get more connected to help each other to get both out of it.
Because Tyler and Tess are sort of like me and my brother.
How so?
Because they fight a lot.
You fight a lot with your brother?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. How much do you relate personally to Tyler or Tess?
I think it's Tess again because she could relate to life. She's smart and athletic. She's like regular people.
I like how the book was creative and like you could also relate it to yourself as well.
How could you relate it to yourself?
Like I could relate like a person like Tess to me.
In what way?
Like she tries to be perfect and I do too, but then like she's not all perfect.
Okay, raise your hand high if you're a boy and you identify with Tyler. High. So I can good. Okay, so most of the boys identify with Tyler. How many of you think this would make a good movie? Raise your hand. Oh. Everybody thinks this would make a good movie. Why?
You have to imagine a lot of the parts and it'd be better like just as a movie.
You'd like to see the things actually realized.
Let me ask you, if this was made into a movie, how many of you would go? Okay. Wow. Would you guys recommend this book to your friends or family?
I would recommend the book to my friends and family because the book was really inspiring and funny.
I would recommend this book because it has suspense in it and adventure, and the riddles that Tyler and Tess solved, they were like, oh my gosh, like that was so obvious, I can't believe I didn't get it.
It's a very interesting book, and there's not a lot of books about mazes, and I would like to show them a book about mazes.
I would recommend this book to my family and friends because it's a really interesting story, and then in some of the parts you feel like you're actually in there with Tyler and Tess and you're helping them figure out parts of the maze.
That's terrific, thank you.
There's like a lot of details and like there's mysteries, like you don't know what's gonna happen next.
Tyler, in the beginning, like Tyler and Tess didn't get along, and if like other people read this book, they would probably like get along with their brothers and sisters.
It shows how a brother and sister's love is. All the details, it makes you actually feel like you're there. It's so interactive.
I would recommend this book because for Tyler and Tess's emotions, there were love, action, it was adventurous, and a whole lot more.
Thank you so much, we really appreciate it.
Sam and I learned a lot talking to those terrific kids, and I thanked them by signing Rugrats autographs. We learned even more when we talked to their wonderful teacher.
Well, we're very excited to be here with Mary Bennett, whose class we just interviewed, and Mary gave us the privilege of teaching our book to her class, and we couldn't be happier. Mary, thank you very much.
Oh, we're so pleased to have you.
You said something to me on the phone about how some of the kids who were sort of ADD.
My experience in teaching the book was that some of my children who have more trouble focusing were able to focus on this book, partly because of all of the action. There's just, something happening every second. Partly, I think, because they related to the children overcoming in an adult world.
There you go.
Which is always satisfying.
Yes.
But I really think the quantity of action held their interest. And like the very best books, that make people want to read, I think this is the type of book that makes the children who aren't natural readers want to read.
What was your general feeling about whether they liked it a lot, who liked it? Go on about that.
First of all, I think they all liked it, almost universally. I honestly felt, especially initially, that the boys liked it better than the girls. I felt that some of the boys who were more involved with game playing got into it faster and more intensely than some of the girls who are beginning to have thoughts of romance at the 7th grade level.
But it seemed, as we interviewed them today, a lot of the girls actually were intrigued more by the relationship between Tyler and Tess and what it spoke to their own familial relationships.
Yes, yes. I think sibling rivalry might peak along about 7th or 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade, and I did not realize how much they related that to their own family relationships as we were reading. I didn't get that, but they certainly told you that. Yes.
Now we got to see the reactions of 3 different classes of kids. How many in total did we talk to today?
Approximately 115.
And they all seem to like it enough to want to see it as a movie, which is amazing.
Very much, very much. It's very, very visual. It's very visual, and which is super. I think that's one of the things that makes it appeal to the children who aren't such great readers, because it does appeal to them. And I think that the quality of imagination and the intensity of the visuals that you presented encourages them to read. Wading through some fairly stiff vocabulary, great SAT words, but they did not balk at having to do 6 pages, single space. I have 6 pages of vocabulary lists that they had to look up and write sentences for, and that didn't faze them. They were so involved with the book. It co-opts this book because it sneaks education in, it sneaks vocabulary in. You've got your math, you've got your history, you've got mythology, little psychology. Oh, lots of wordplay.
Yes, that was kind of the goal when we wrote it, was to try and make a fun read for kids that they could also learn from, which is our goal of the website ultimately. And when I asked them the question of whether or not they would enjoy going to a website where they had to look up things on Google or Wikipedia, they all seemed open to it as long as it was involved in the game.
And I think that is one of the things that's great about the web itself, is that if they had to walk from encyclopedia to book in a library, they might not. But when they're sitting at a terminal, all they have to do is type. Yes, they are willing to do research.
What do you think about the social message that's also hidden in the story?
Oh, well,
do they relate to it at all?
We're fond of saying, and our principal often says at Baldwin, we are a family. And of course, in families, sometimes people don't get along, but in the end, we learn to live with each other. And they've been raised. These children have all been, because we're a kindergarten through 8th grade school, they've grown up in that environment with that message. And I think that it segued very, very nicely into their awareness of how people ought to behave in families. And I think you got the reaction that they were very pleased that Tyler and Tess grew closer and learned to work together, and that Mom and Dad, while understandably anxious when the children were missing, did forgive and were thrilled to have the children home again.
Thank you very much.
You've got to make a movie. You've got to make a movie.
To get more information or contact us, go to www.magicmaze.com or email us at samuelwj@sbcglobal.net.